Hello kids, today we'll be reading Drew the Shrew, Learning to Fly, written by Isabel. Drew was a happy and lively shrew who lived in a cozy house in the forest. She loved picking flowers and gathering berries, blueberries, blackberries, and strawberries. Berries are always delicious, she said. She spent her days talking to the other inhabitants of the forest, the hedgehog who lived in the log, the badger who lived in a bush by the river, the toad who lived under a big toadstool, and the dragonfly who often passed by. They all liked Drew, although they thought she was a little bit silly, always smelling and picking flowers to make colorful little wreaths or crowns, always dreaming of being able to fly like a bird in the sky. Sometimes they made fun of her. "Have you learned to fly yet?" they would say with a laugh. "No, not yet," she would reply, "but I'll try again." Then she would make her way back home, thinking about how to make her dreams come true. She asked every shrew in the burrows nearby, but nobody understood her. "Why would you want to fly? You are supposed to walk, not fly." "To fly? Nonsense. But I want to be the first flying shrew," she said, feeling a bit lonely sometimes. "Maybe I can ask the old owl who lives in the forest. She thought she is the wisest one I know," but she was a little afraid of doing so. Everybody knows that an owl is not a shrew's best friend. After some serious thinking, she picked up her courage and decided to pay a visit to the oldest owl in the forest. Sitting on the top of the tree, the owl looked down at her gravely but curiously. "What are you doing?" I, she said with a stutter. "I want to ask you a question. You are brave to come here alone. It must really be important to you." "It is. I want to be able to fly." "You are a shrew. You're not supposed to fly." "I know. Everybody keeps telling me that, but I'm so small. I can only see a few things around me. The world must be so big, and I want to see the world from above." "Oh no, oh ho. Well, what are you willing to do? Fulfill your goals?" "Anything," said Drew, hastily and hopefully. Flying is not an easy thing to do when you don't have wings. "Maybe I could try a brown broom and have to be willing to work and studied hard. You will try and fail many times before you succeed." "I'll work hard, I promise." The owl went into her house and returned with a long list of books. "Now don't you come near me until you have learned to fly," she said harshly. Drew shivered. But Drew was so happy when she got her first book. She thought she would come up with the solution in a flash. She put a few ingredients in the cauldron, she read a few words, and nothing happened. Of course, difficult things don't come easily. In no time, Drew's house was full of books, of all sizes. The old owl list was long. First, she thought that glancing through them would be enough, but soon she realized that work hard meant she patiently read each book and practiced each potion and spell. Often did not go well. What horrible smell! The other Shrews in the neighborhood would ask from time to time. It must be Drew cooking one of her potions. She did not leave the house, but to pick some ingredients she needed for the potions. The animals in the forest would ask, "Have you learned to fly yet?" "No, there are so many things to learn." She would go back home and study, practice more. She was determined to succeed. Time passed. One day, the male mouse knocked on the door. Drew was so excited. She invited the quest group festival that took place in the innermost part of the forest. All of the animals gathered to celebrate nature and life. Some of the animals showed off what they could do. Drew must worry. She had more things to learn. She wanted to show what she could do too. The day of the festival came with everybody busy with preparations, decorating trees with colorful lights and garlands, placing delicious dishes and drinks on the table. A stage was set up in the middle of the forest, clearing the participants to form their best tricks. Drew was busy her notes, looking back at all the mistakes she had previously made, checking all the ingredients for her potion. The time had come. Drew pushed her cart towards the stage with all the things she needed for the performance. She put the cauldron in the middle and began to mix all ingredients she had brought. She put her broom inside and read the spell out loud. She took out the broom and jumped on it. Nothing happened. Everybody stared at her. Many thought she was going to fail. Suddenly the broom began to shake, and it lifted off the ground. Drew grabbed the broom firmly. She was happy. She did it. She could fly. She smiled happily. While she was flying in the air, near the moon, near the stars, she could see the forest from above. Oh, everything was so big and beautiful, so much more than she had expected. After such an amazing flight, Drew landed and broom on the stage. Everybody clapped and cheered. That was fantastic, said the toad. You did great, said the badger. You can fly higher than me, said the dragonfly. What an amazing trick, said one of the neighbors. It was worth all that bad smell. But the old owl, with her harsh and wise voice, that was not a good trick. That's the reward of hard work. Good job, Drew. Drew felt happier than ever. Her dream had come true. She began to dream another dream. The end. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.